It is 1:30 on April the 3rd, and we established that we do have a quorum. This is the Design and Historic Review Commission meeting. First order of business would be the consent agenda. And so do we need to make a motion to remove item A, or just?
No, I don't think it needs a motion. You can just say you're removing item A. They were already approved. No, they were already approved. They just need to be signed, and I didn't know that.
Okay,
I put it
so
on the agenda.
we're just going to put in the record that we're removing item A, consideration of July 21st, 2022 Design and Historic Commission meeting minutes. Okay, and then do we need to vote on the other two?
Yeah.
Okay,
On
so
whether
if
or
I
not you
have a
approve.
motion for B and C.
Yes, I move that we vote for the meetings from January and February
Okay,
2023.
approved. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Okay, now we will move into our regular agenda. CA 23-02, 221 South Chadbourn, a request for a certificate of appropriateness to paint the building facade, including the trim located at 221 South Chadbourn Street.
There. As you remember, this was tabled from your last meeting, and so we do have the applicant here at this meeting, and I think we do have additional information for you. So what I'd like to do is just go through the very beginning of it and then bring the applicants up here to talk with you about, particularly about the colors and what your questions were.
Okay.
So if you remember, this is at 221 South Chadbourn. It's in District 3, Mr. Thomas's district, downtown neighborhood. This is the old Stango'S coffee shop. And as you'll remember, or may not remember, this is the way that it used to look. And then Mr. Stango'S had it for a while and painted the downstairs first floor the green on the exterior. And so the applicants are wanting to repaint the outside of the building and the trim, and they've looked at also at the canopy and are going to address that also. And with that, I want to bring up, they have provided this example, and you have a copy of it before you on the dais. They basically said anything green will be painted white, anything brown will be painted black, anything cream will be painted white, or on the second story, I believe, and anything black will be painted white. Second story cream, as I said, will be painted black. And with that, I'd like to bring them up so that they can talk with you in more detail about what their plans are.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are we just voting on the colors now, or did we approve the sign? What?
Well,
Because there was some question about the sign.
You had some questions about the sign from, and we had showed you in the staff report what the sign was proposed to look like, and I believe your
Yes.
question had to do with where it was going to be placed and how it was going to be
Okay.
affixed. And so they can definitely address that.
Okay. Is there any questions for staff? Okay, we'll open up public comment. If somebody would like to come up and speak about this, if you'll state your name, please.
Hi, my name is Evan Berry-Hill, and I'm the owner of Texas Angels Boutique. That's what we're going to be putting there. I pretty much just wanted, like, I drew out paint everything that's green, white, and then everything that is brown downstairs, black, and then the awning black, upstairs what's orange, white, and what's cream, black. Or wait, yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? The applicant?
Have y'all considered any other color besides black and white?
I thought it would look good because Whiskey 1933 is black and white, Lifted is black and white, and that tattoo place is also black and white.
Because it's not very historic. And we're becoming a black and white town.
I just noticed there's a lot of buildings downtown, though. I think
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
the-
and I wanna do,
That's the
like-
popular color right now, I think.
Yeah, and I thought with a bunch of hanging plants underneath it and two big black pots and
Yeah. I
plants
think it'd be
and stuff.
pretty.
Is the orange, is that a paint or is that?
Yes,
like a-
ma'am.
Okay, that's
Stucco.
currently painted right now?
Well, it's green right
The
now.
bottom's green, that other picture.
Yeah, if you go one
I'm just,
picture.
this part is, it's painted stucco,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Okay,
painted.
currently.
Anybody else have any questions?
And then the sign would be placed where the coffee mug is at.
Is that other sign up there, is that gonna stay there, that blue one, up on, I guess that's a
Eventually
lighted
take it down.
sign?
Eventually take it down, it's the one that he hung up there, but I just haven't had anyone take it down.
Okay.
What does that say?
Coffee shop.
The sign or the
Yeah.
coffee cup?
The
Coffee
the
shop.
sign?
Okay.
I have a question as well. Just in terms of the sign, I couldn't get a real feel for the size. I'm just not a visual person. Can you elaborate just?
4 foot.
Okay, so just in comparison to Stango'S, I was trying to
About the same as
visually,
that coffee shop.
It's just a
4 foot
circle.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I should have brought my.
But you're talking about the coffee cup, not the
Not the one
verbiage,
that's on the
right?
coffee cup.
Will it be lit up like is this a
No, it's
a
just.
painted sign and is it gonna have any lights
Yes.
on it or
No.
anything? Okay.
This is actually my logo, so that's what this.
Yeah, I remember that. That will look good with the black one.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll close public comment. Questions from the board? Somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the 2 color paint schemes that they have to go on the building.
Can we get a second?
Move to second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I'm opposed.
Oh, one opposed. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our next case, DD 22-31, 123 North Chadbourn, a request for a downtown design district approval for placing a shed at the back of the property, fencing to be placed around the shed, and painting of a mural located at 123 North Chadbourn Street.
Okay, Zach Rainbow Planning Development Services. This was also tabled from your previous meeting. As you mentioned, the previous request was for a storage building, a fence, and a mural. The applicant has removed the request for the fence at this time. He has updated the mural as well as requested by the board and provided a sample of the storage building. So I will show you those. Again, it's at 123 North Chadbourn. If you recall, I believe I included it in your packet, but it was the gun with the soldier. This is the new updated image they're proposing. I'll show you on the building here in a future slide where it'll be located. It's on an addition that was approved after the original building. This is the scan of the color sample he provided to propose to paint the building. I'll pass this around.
Now, that's the fencing color?
The fencing he's removed out.
Oh, but it says, so what is that paint for?
What he wants to paint the storage building.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So-
because it says fencing color. Okay,
Yeah, sorry,
okay.
so that's for the storage building, the fence has been removed. So there's the picture of the storage building, as you can see, it's a particle board. I believe it's less than 200 square feet, so it does not require a building permit. However, it does require approval of this commission. Here is a picture, you can see the storage building, I believe. If approved, he plans on maybe moving it and relocating it. He's here to speak to that as well. As you can see there by the 20 by 25 foot indicated right there on the side to the right of the two-story structure is where the new mural would be. This was approved in, I believe, 2018 by this commission to be built. Again, the original building is the front building facing Chadburn. This is facing the exterior street. Just some stuff included in the staff report. Again, particle board, painted that color white. Staff is recommending approval of the mural. However, if the commission is, or staff is recommending denial for the building, it did not meet the criteria necessary to grant or to recommend approval. However, staff is recommending approval of the mural. If the board is inclined to approve the storage building, we ask that you consider 3 conditions of approval: consistent colors and dimensions of materials, as you all see fit, if, again, inclined to approve, permits, and projecting into the right-of-way, if allowed to, would need specialized approval and another step from City Council and Planning Commission. But I don't believe that's the plan. So, go back here, if I can get an aerial. So it's a little difficult to see, but I believe the applicant would be willing to relocate the building, perhaps to the corner here, to minimize the aesthetic impacts it could possibly have. But he is here to speak to that. I'd be happy to answer any questions y'all may have. Go back to a picture of the proposed mural.
Since I wasn't here at the last meeting, what part of that mural changed? Where was
The entirety of the mural.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole different mural.
Oh, it's a whole, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that had the gun with the soldier. And,
Okay.
Yeah, had a gun and some angel wings and stuff like that.
I like that. I like that.
Picture of the placement of where that's going to go
Yeah,
again?
it's going to go, so the placement was approved.
Right there.
Right there on the side to the right of the north, indicated by the
20 by
north.
25.
So there's a
In that
telephone pole kind of in the way, really, in the middle of it? If I'm taking a
Sort of,
photo of
yes,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
I think you'd be looking straight on and that pole won't interfere if you're just looking at it adjacently to your right.
Okay.
Okay, so getting back to the storage building, it looks like there's a driveway right there. Is that where it's going to be located? Where exactly are they moving?
That's an alleyway.
Okay, so it'll just be to the edge of that alleyway.
So the furthest he can move it, correct, would be to the edge of the alley, and then as close to the building as fire and building permits will
The
allow
other-
it, so yeah.
Okay.
So like closer to the alley and closer to the red
And-
brick
yeah, correct.
building? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, all right.
And he can probably explain it a little more clearly.
So then we're still talking about this same building
Correct,
with the gable on it. That was the issue
Correct.
last time.
correct. And I believe he wanted to,
Huh?
Painting it and removing it.
so he provided a paint sample. He still does want to keep the storage building. Staff still does have the same recommendation. He is willing to move it, paint it, which is the sample he provided. And I believe he has some more information he'd be willing to share and discuss with you if you have any further questions.
I have another quick question,
Sure.
just to make sure I'm understanding this. So the paint color we saw that he's recommending to paint the shed, is that the same color he's wanting to paint the building? Are these meant to be matching or complementary?
No,
I just
no,
want to
no.
make sure
So
I'm
the-
totally.
Good question.
That's
Okay.
the color, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
It
Yeah,
looks
I-
close,
I-
but there's so many whites and creams.
It's a, yeah, so I didn't want to say yes, it's exactly the same
Yes.
because there's so many different
But
variations
it's
of
meant to
white.
be more or less real-world identical.
Speaking with Mr. Vincent, he did try to make it blend in as best possible, being what it is, so.
The only question I have for storage buildings like that, I don't know if you have to have a 10-foot separation from that, but on commercial, so you can build all the way up to the property line.
He can build all the way to the property line on the alley.
Yeah.
And on the exterior, I believe it has to be 5 feet. It may be is it 0 or 5 feet?
Yeah, but
from
I'm
each?
talking about like there where you have two buildings that
Oh,
are
right.
joined
So
together.
10 feet is typical for fire separation, wall to wall, unless there's accommodations made for firewalling, rating, et cetera, and I'm not
Okay,
sure
so
that can be
then
done.
that storage building's gonna be 10 foot off of that brick wall.
As it is built and constructed now, yes, it would have to be a.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why the comment was made. One of the
I
conditions
wonder how
would be-
far that is. How far is it from edge of his building to there? 30 feet? 20, 30 feet? I wonder how big that
I'd-
building is.
I'd say
I
it's
guess we
probably
can ask him.
25 to 30 feet.
Because usually
30
those
feet.
buildings are all 25 foot deep.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Is there any more questions for staff?
Do we have a note of where we left it off last time? Like, didn't we?
Yeah,
Not
we
like
tabled
the-
the sign and the storage building.
And the fence to
We
bring
really
back.
didn't
fence,
deny the
yeah.
storage building officially?
And so, yeah, so he removed the fence at this time and desires to keep the storage building and then brought the updated mural as requested.
And can you go back to the picture of the storage
Sure.
building in the alleyway area? Yeah, thank you.
I guess we can ask him if he's gonna turn it the 12-foot way or the 10, I guess it'd be, the door would have to be,
And is there a back door, so to this east picture?
yes, see that right there? See where the storage bin, that little deal to the right, that's the door.
Yes.
Right, okay,
To the right, so it'd have to be, if it's further down here towards
Yeah,
the
it can't be
alley,
in
it'll
that
be out of the
corner.
way of the door.
right. But it can't go in that little corner
It can't
because
go in
it's
the
too
corner.
close to the door. Okay, all right,
And it's gotta be 10 feet off that brick wall.
right.
So
So,
really, it's gonna be,
And there's another
It's gonna
door
be
on the.
still gonna
sticking
be
out.
about 10 feet away
It'll be
from,
floating in that parking lot, basically?
Yeah.
yeah, it's on skids.
I mean,
Oh.
with the placement kind of floating, it
Right.
won't be on a wall, it won't be on a, it'll just be
No,
sort
it's
of.
just gonna be sitting
in the
there,
middle
it'll
of
just
it.
be floating.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions for staff?
I do, but it's not relevant. I'm just wondering, since I wasn't here, why the mural's on that wall instead of the other wall?
Good question. It's actually supposed to be the other. Yeah, we don't know where we.
Oh, it is?
It's gonna be on
Oh, the main, okay.
Yeah, we need them to come to the mic if we're going to get.
Yeah, so let them speak to it. I
Yeah,
thought they were
well,
bringing it here.
let's
but-
close the, then we can ask the applicant. So any other questions for staff? Okay, then we'll close this part and we'll open it up to public comment. So if you'd like to come up, sir, state your name.
First of all, I apologize because there's an echo in here and I can't hear, but he's got good ears. My name is Jerry Vincent.
Okay,
Good afternoon, my name's Nestor Hernandez, I'm co-owner with Jerry
Okay,
Vincent
all right.
with the Blue Buffalo Art Gallery and
Thank
art
you.
manager.
okay, so the sign is gonna go up on the brick part where y'all bricked in the windows?
Yes, sir.
It's going on there now, okay.
That makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, that's
I just
better.
was wondering why
Yeah,
we
but
would put it in this wall that had
The storage
visual
building in front of it.
impairments,
I've got
yeah.
that all
Yes.
this time. like
Yeah.
in the
Okay,
last
that
meeting.
makes a lot more sense to me. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And the wall that's graffitied right now, that's all, is the same color as the new building behind, or the same color as this sample. So it's all consistent.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to also
Yeah.
do with the shed, kind of make it all kind of blend
I
in.
mean, I like the new sign. I think that looks really good.
I designed that. I tried to incorporate, I've seen other towns
Uh-huh.
do it throughout Texas or even other states, and I didn't see one like that done here for San Angelo. So I tried to incorporate each letter. I don't know if you're able to see the letters.
Yeah.
Does this control?
Different parts of the city.
Yes,
It's
ma'am,
great
that
looking.
were highlights of the city.
I noticed that.
And that would be something a little bit more.
It's great looking.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did a good job on that. Let's see that.
Yeah, so the first one is the Concho River and the Cactus Hotel, and the second one's the train station.
Oh, yeah.
The inn is the fort, and we planned on putting, it's kind of hard to see from this image, but there's soldiers in there with the American flag.
Uh-huh.
ASU, Lake Nasworthy with Twin Buttes in the distance, and then Goodfellow Air Force Base, and then part of the Concho River and with the art museum, and then the San Angelo for the rodeo. I did one of the girls that comes out with the American flag, and then since San Angelo is known for the sheep and wool and for the O, so.
It's great.
Yeah,
Like the buffalo.
looks good.
That's a beautiful mural. I love how well you captured all the different facets of the history.
Thank you.
And it's, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's also just very catchy, like visually. It is
Yes.
beautiful.
Thanks. And we've already talked to artists, because we're on getting all that done, and so, I mean, everyone's ready just to get the approval, and so that we can move forward.
Okay, I guess we can get back to the storage building.
Yeah.
My thinking on that, I know the big issue was here is that we didn't like the gable roof, but now when I look at it like this, I mean, this is just what I'm thinking. If it, because you obviously don't want to trade it back in and get another, because what we were going for was a shed type roof. The biggest issue with this was the gable.
The metal
Because it
roof.
just doesn't match anything around there at all. But, yeah, the gable part of it. So my only thinking is if the board, that'll be discussion, is if it's turned the other direction, so the gables are east and west, you really wouldn't see it. You would see more like a shed roof on it. And see
We'll go ahead
sticking
and
it
paint
back
that color.
to
We'll paint
the.
that color though, with the roof.
Yeah, that doesn't, we're not concerned about the color. I'm just talking about the gable. So if it's turned the other direction, when you're looking at it from the street, you're gonna see the pitch of the roof on it instead of the gable. So it would look more like a shed roof. I mean,
And I think
the
the
only,
paint color will help a lot, it'll disappear a
the
little
only
bit
other
more.
option would be to deny it and, but that's, I think, I could go for that. I don't think it would be that big of an issue.
'Cause-
If you turn it, it needs to go east and west, so the door would either be facing the alley or the other direction,
Or your back door.
or your back door.
Yeah,
See, we want the gable to go
Yes, sir.
east and west.
yeah. It would
Okay.
be probably easier if it was, the door of the shed was facing your back door.
Yeah, because if you're not gonna put up a fence, people could
Right.
possibly break in the backside. What's the idea with the fence? You just not deciding on a fence right now, or what?
We're still discussing that.
Okay,
We're still wanting to put up a fence, because before we built this, the new building
Yes.
back there, there was homeless that were staying back there, kind of
Yes.
hanging out, and then
no.
here recently, we've noticed, because we wanted to try to mitigate that as well, them hanging out over there, and so that's why we were, when I guess it was proposed to
Yes.
either move it, or we were planning on
Uh-huh.
doing that, just to kind of, and then get a fence up, so then, there's no one able to come into the property right there. The only issue we've had is where, let me see. So the brick building that's next to us, they have it's like a pull-up door.
garage door, yes, uh-huh.
So from my understanding, originally, when the two previous owners, the owner that owned our building told the other previous owner that it was okay for them to pour a concrete slab there and have access, because he wasn't going to have any plans on using that back garage driveway anyways. And so right now, the owner that has it, we're under that agreement that you can access it and use it, because technically our property line goes all the way to that fence. It's actually all of that
I was wondering
slab.
about that,
Yes,
why
sir.
didn't you just push it all the way back?
Yes, sir.
No.
So that's, we would like to, but right now, because of where that slab is coming down, it would interfere with him being able to, because he works on vehicles, and so he pulls a truck in there, and he restores
see.
old vehicles. So we're trying to keep a good relationship
Sure,
with them. Right now, I know he plans on selling it, so at that point, that's why the fencing was kind of up in the
So
air.
then you could move that building all the way to the back?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
That makes perfect sense with the fencing, why you're still thinking about that, at least for me.
And right now, the reason we have the storage shed is so the front part is the gallery. The new building is the studio area where we're able to have all our supplies and where we kind of work on stuff, putting frames together. And so the storage actually has all our frame making materials that we use for stretching canvas or making canvases. Because in the future, what our plan is, and what my plan was from the very beginning, and when I talked to Jerry about this gallery, is so I'm a former Marine, and after I got out, I started doing art therapy. And so my plans are to bring art therapy to San Angelo and to, for first responders and for veterans to have an emotional outlet and to not resort to drugs or alcohol. And so right now, that holds all of our equipment for being able to make all of our canvas frames or our frames that we'd be using. So if y'all denied it, we really would be kind of stuck in a bind, or trying to, right now, we're trying to move forward so that we can get this nonprofit going. At least that's my plan.
So, first off, I believe strongly in art therapy, and I think that is such an incredible mission. So just like to get that out there.
Yes.
Secondly, as far as my personal opinion, because I come from a historical thing, I don't think you're going to be able to do much that makes it totally seamless historically speaking. But I think that's also true for many areas that we could look at in the downtown. And so for me personally, if you were to paint the shed and shift it 90 degrees, I do think that would sort of help camouflage it enough that it would be workable. For me personally, I can't speak for anyone else, but to me that would be close enough to having it fit in that I personally would be okay with that. But again, I recognize the staff recommendation is different and others might feel differently about it.
Well, I agree too. I mean, the biggest issue is, you know, a lot of people just don't know the rules, a lot of this stuff. It should have not even been placed on the property, because if it would have come before us, we would have said, look, it needs to be a shed type roof, and we wouldn't even had this discussion right now.
Yes, sir.
So we're willing to work with, you know, with the applicants, and we know a lot of people are spending a lot of money downtown, and I kind of agree. I think we can mitigate that by moving it a direction, painting it the right color. So I wouldn't have a problem with it. Does anybody else have any questions for the applicants?
I just want to say I'm excited about what you're doing, the art therapy too.
Yes,
It's really
ma'am.
awesome.
Thank you.
I hope lots of success and look for opportunities to give to your nonprofit too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll close public discussion, open it up to the board for discussion. Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
So will it be on contingent, everything we just said, move it this way and
Yes,
paint it
you
that
need
color
to-
and all that? Okay.
Does the motion need to be one for the mural and one for the building, or can it be combined into one? Okay.
Okay. Somebody-
So do we need to say, I move that we approve this request
Yes.
pending sort of the comments we've made about
Yeah,
the
the
shed?
building needs to face east and
Yes.
west.
Yeah,
Yes.
pending those changes to the shed, the
And it
change
needs
in the
to
placement,
be
the painting.
placed at the back of the drive, the edge of the drive, and then whatever the appropriate fire code is away from that brick building, which I
Yes.
believe is 10 feet.
And
Okay,
then make
And then-
note of what wall that mural is actually going to go on.
Yes, change that into the front. And then it'll be painted the same color as the building. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Okay, we'll go to the next case, DD 23-02, 810 North Adams, a request for a river corridor review approval for a single-family home located at 810 North Adams.
The applicant's going to provide a leader.
Good.
So
Thank you.
if you all want to pass it around, and I'll explain it as I go. I don't have pictures of it, but hello, Ray Lineberry, planner. And this one is 810 North Adams. They are looking at putting a single-family home on that lot, and it will be closer to Adams rather than the river. But it is .336 acres. It's in Lucy Gonzalez's District 4, Central Neighborhood, RS1 zoning. As you can see on the site plan right here, the house is closer to Adams Street and has the long backyard. This had the elevations and floor plan. He did take a picture of the paint can, but now there is a sample that we're passing around. along with, he gave me a picture of the windows, a picture of the door, the roof, what are they
Roof
called?
color.
Yeah, the roof color, and that it is 30-year and weathered wood. And I'm trying to remember if there's anything else in that. The siding paint color is on there, or trim, not siding, trim. And this is the construction details, what he had. And then staff is recommending approval with the two conditions that the colors, dimensions, and materials are consistent with the renderings approved here by this board, and that he obtains all the necessary permits.
So the trim color's the dark color?
Yes.
Perfect.
And the applicant was trying to make it, but I don't see
Okay.
him here.
Does anybody have any questions for staff? Some of y'all are kind of questioning, why are we doing new construction? Anything that's close to the river like that has to go before this board. I mean, paint colors and all that, it's just something that was established
Yeah, so
way
we're
back.
in a zone for commercial zone, and they want to build a residential home.
Well, no, it's not
on-
commercial, it's
Okay.
residential.
It is residential.
Yes,
Okay.
Just in the
there's
river
houses,
corridor.
it's just the
Okay.
fact that the location of it to the river, that's what brings it before the DHRC
I understand
board.
that part of it. I'm just not familiar with that area, so I'm trying to visualize what it looks like right now.
Yeah, you know where City Lumber is, where it goes down the hill?
Yes.
It's Adams, it's right to the left. It's two houses off of that
Okay.
street right there.
I know, I was looking at that, I was like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, that, if you just keep going, that goes towards City Lumber.
Yeah, it'll look brand
Okay.
new.
Anybody
next
have
to
any
the water.
questions for staff? Okay, open up for public comment. There's no one here. We'll close public comment. Questions for the board, recommendations, motion?
I make a motion to approve DD 23-02 as per presented.
Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, staff. I appreciate that. We're trying to get as much information as we can on these so people don't have to come back, and I appreciate that. Y'all did a good job on it. We'll open up for public comment. Nobody here. Division report? No? Nothing? Okay. The announcements, the next regular meeting of the Design Historic Review Commission is scheduled to begin on Thursday, April 20th. Is that what we're doing?
So I wanted to leave that open for now, because if city council does get us another member
Okay.
on their next meeting
Okay.
or something, we can have it. If not, then this meeting will be canceled.
Okay. At 10 a.m. tentatively, the East Mezzanine Meeting Room, City Hall, 72 West College Avenue. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion passes. Thank you.